It had swashbuckling, it has adventure, it has fantasy songs. It's just like, it's everything that I like. I just loved so much about this film. We had so much action. This movie is such a fun adventure.
నమస్కారం పరదేశీ పెద్దమ్మ కథలకు స్వాగతం. ఈ వారం నేను మెల్ని డిస్కస్ చేయబోతున్న సినిమా 1994లో వచ్చిన ఒక క్లాసిక్ జానపదం సినిమా. ఈ రోజుకి కూడా తెలుగు సినిమాల్లో ఫోక్ సినిమా గురించి చెప్పుకోవాల్సి వస్తే ముందుగా గుర్తుకొచ్చే సినిమా అదే. బాలకృష్ణ, సంగీతం, శ్రీనివాసరావు కాంబినేషన్ లో వచ్చినటువంటి భైరవ ద్వీపం సినిమా గురించి ఈ రోజు నేను మెల్ని మాట్లాడబోతున్నాం. మెల్ని బాహుబలి చూశారు ఫస్ట్ లో, కానీ నన్ను అడిగినప్పుడు నేను ఇదే చెప్పా, బాహుబలి కంటే చాలా ముందే చాలా మంచి ఫోక్ సినిమాస్ వచ్చినాయి. దాదాపు 60s 70s ఆ టైంలో మంచి ఫోక్ సినిమాలు వచ్చినాయి. ఆ తర్వాత సడన్ గా ఆగిపోయాయి. కానీ 90s లో వచ్చిన ఒక సినిమా ఈ రోజుకి కూడా ఫోక్ సినిమా అంటే ఎక్కువగా చెప్పుకునే సినిమా అని చెప్పి మెల్నీకి చెప్పడం, తను చూడడం జరిగింది. సో మెల్నీకి ఎలా అనిపించింది, తన రివ్యూ ఏంటి తెలుసుకుందాం. హాయ్ మెల్నీ.
Hey. So when I was texting Harsha while I was watching this movie, I was just like, you know what I like. I'm loving everything about this movie. It has swashbuckling, it has adventure, it has fantasy songs. It's just like, it's everything that I like. So, and I also love that we watched the movie that inspired this one just recently. We watched Patala Baravi.
Yeah.
And I know when and you had said to me, we haven't watched any BalaKrishna movies, and I had never watched a BalaKrishna movie. And so when he heard the story of this film, he wanted to make it because it's very much like his father NTR's movie Patala Baravi, and it's the same, just super fun fantasy, evil sorcerer, all of that. You know, not exactly the same plot, but definitely inspired and in the same fantasy genre as that film. And oh my gosh, this BalaKrishna swashbuckle. I mean, I was texting you know, he's hanging from a chandelier and he's sword fighting all these different people, and I was just like, so I'm not going to say that BalaKrishna, you know, it doesn't seem like he is known for his dancing, at least not in this film, compared to like the Chiranjeevi films that we've been watching.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, you know, he's very athletic and just a lot of you know, athletic kind of moves and the swashbuckling and all of that. Like it was so I was so into this movie. My husband walked into the room and he said, you know, they can't hear you. Because I was yelling at my screen. I'm like, your sword. So my husband was making fun of me because I just was so into it. I was yelling back at the screen. He's fighting the two-headed dragon or whatever. I'm like, don't forget your sword.
Actually,
So,
India folk movies have that aura. Everybody enjoying like kids.
yeah. I mean, yes, some of the special effects are kind of laughable today. I mean, they're kind of a practical effect of whatever, la puppet kind of a two-headed dragon thing.
Yeah.
But some of the other special effects would stand up today. Just, you know, the princess Padma, she is enchanted by a sorcerer who sends sort of this evil cloud that then transports her bed with her on it to his evil island. And then the evil island, they used like reverse negative for the ocean to have kind of a very eerie look, you know, and lots of smoke around the, you know, evil looking island. I mean, some of the stuff still stands up today and looks awesome, and some of the stuff you're like, okay, you know, now we would have CGI or we would have much better special effects.
94, it is so difficult to make a CG for especially Telugu cinema.
Right. Well, I mean, this is 1994. You know, I mean, we've come a long way with what we can do now with digital effects. Or, I mean, I'm not saying practical effects don't have their place, because obviously they do, but they did the best that they could. It's still, to me, this is a long movie, and yet I was entertained at every moment. There was so much plot, so much going on. We don't even see the villain until almost an hour into the movie, and I was perfectly happy. I'm like, okay, there's this whole romantic comedy thing of him sneaking into the palace and him pretending to be somebody else. I was all about it. So but when the villain does come, that there's just so much. I mean, I'm also seeing the through line not only from the influence of the 1951 film, but I'm seeing all the way through to, I don't understand Telugu, but I could hear you saying Bahubali. Yeah. And that's immediately when we see the scenes of how he's separated from his mother in the water and all of that, and found by a tribal chieftain and raised, by another set of parents, but really he's of royal blood. I'm like, okay, this is just like Bahubali. So there were so many things that I could see how Rajamouli was influenced by these early fantasy films to make his films. And so I just love being able to see these connections in the history of Telugu cinema from all of these films that we've been watching together. I just loved so much about this film. We had so much action. And the romance with the actress Roja plays Padma, the princess. Oh, gosh. So just so many great things. And then the villain was a Malayalam actor. They renamed him Vijaya Rangaraju for Telugu cinema. And he was fantastic as the evil sorcerer. Yeah. So the director of this film is Singeetam Srinivasa Rao. And then the story was written by Ravi Kandala Rao. And again, inspired by Patala Bhairavi, but not exactly the same as that plot. But so the title for the English speakers mean Bhairava Dweepam means Bhairava's island. And so Bhairava is the evil sorcerer. So, and the music was by Madhavapati Suresh. I loved all the songs.
Me too.
But if I had to,
from my childhood, actually 94 means I born in 93. Entire my childhood, I just spent with those songs. Naruda, oh Naruda. And
I think my favorite, I think my favorite is the one at the temple with the Pegasus. Okay, first of all, that Pegasus was so awesome. Okay.
Till date,
that one.
I want to mention
tree.
one till date that is the most difficult Telugu song till date.
Oh my gosh, I can believe it. That was my absolute favorite. And difficult, obviously it was lip synced, but extremely well. I mean, definitely different actors have different skills with lip syncing. And this, like you said, this is such a difficult song, had such really fast parts to it. And he did an amazing job of making you believe that he was actually singing this classical song. Absolutely love that entire sequence.
Of BalaKrishna.
Okay, I mean, because he was fantastic at that.
Easily he can lip sync wise, acting skills wise, he completely dominated the character.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many twists and turns in the plot. Like I loved, I mean, it's something that repeats over and over again, of an infant being separated from its parents and then reuniting later and not realizing that I mean, because I didn't know, when he encounters the blind man, that was, I'm like, it's his father again, me yelling at the screen. Or, I mean, I did not expect him to be cursed and suddenly look like Quasimodo. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. There's just so many twists and turns in the plot that, I mean, maybe a Telugu audience is used to some of these folklore stories that it's based on, and we're expecting some of these twists, but a lot of them were complete surprises to me. And it was just wonderful. I was on a ride. This movie is such a fun adventure. Another song that I really liked was towards the beginning of the film when he is wooing the princess and he sneaks into the palace. I think that one is Chandamama Vachina, that song. Oh.
And one more song is there too. Virisinadi Vasantaganam.
Yeah. So Roja gets that's one of her really good songs.
Now she is in politics and she is the Minister of Andhra Pradesh.
I saw that on Wikipedia. So it's just amazing. It's amazing. She did a really great performance. I don't think that I have seen her in another film before. Obviously, she's a very popular actress from this period, but I just had not seen her before, and I thought she was wonderful. So, and they had great chemistry together. But anyway, I was just so thankful, Harsha, that you suggested we watch a BalaKrishna movie because it was so much fun. And what I'm looking forward to, we're going to be seeing another one next, even though there's no subtitles. I'm looking forward to it. It's the same director, Aditya 369. I'm going to go for it because this director is very inventive.
Yeah.
This is a fantasy genre, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in a more science fiction. But I know part of the time travel is going back to the past because I saw a little click. Sword fighting again, my favorite. Swashbuckling.
Actually, we need to talk about director Singeetam Srinivasa because for Telugu and Tamil people, he treated like as a legendary director because in 1990s he plays some tricks with CGs, which is computer not available. He just treated he covered up things with artwork, everything. Aditya 369 and Bhairava Dweepam, and so many films in Tamil too. For Kamal Hassan, he acted Purva Sodarlu,
right?
Sodarlu in Telugu.
Right. So I mean, it's interesting camera work. Like I said, he's using the tools that he had at the time. He didn't have all the digital CGI that we have today, and it's with careful editing and like I said, just inventive of making the ocean look wild by using a reverse negative effect on that. Just simple things like that, but just add and enhance the whole atmosphere of the film. So yeah, and I just thought, like I said, this was a well-paced, lot of plot, but a well-paced adventure.
Do you observe that one point when he entered into a castle for a necklace, then a fight with mirrors?
Yes. Oh my gosh,
mirror is evil there, so he want to fight with mirror.
Yeah, I know, that was amazing. A lot of it kind of reminds me of Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? Like you're going into different enchanted lands, and each one has something different about it. I mean, he has sort of like the Wizard of Oz Munchkins. He has the subtitles called them Lilliput. So he has the tiny little people that help him to go get the necklace and stuff. So yeah, again, simple camera work to make simple special effects to make him be a giant and them be tiny people. But again, it's still effective today, right? So I don't know if this is a film all families could watch. I don't know if young teens watching it might laugh at some of the special effects, especially the two-headed dragon, but I was just along for the ride. I enjoyed the whole thing. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing more BalaKrishna movies. Is he more known for these kind of adventure kind of movies, or does he have a wide range like his father did of all the like family dramas, and or is he more known to the action and adventure?
He done everything. He famous for family subjects. He famous for adventure movies. He done everything. Aditya 316 also different subject that we will discuss it for our next week. It is also a very different subject. It will be a treat to watch.
Right. It is going to be a treat, even if there's no subtitles. I'm really excited because it's the same director and he's so inventive. And I know that's one of the rare science fiction films in Telugu cinema. So I'm interested about it just because of that. So, but yeah, this is my first film, I believe, with this director, and I want to see more because it was really fun. Now, I've been watching some South Indian films. I'm not going to name names, but I was just thinking as I was watching this, some films that are slow or kind of lose their way in the second half. And I'm like, we should go back to some of these old films that are just packed with adventure and plot and really give the audience their money's worth in adventure. And, this is a film I would love to see remade in modern day. Can you imagine Ram Charan or NTR Jr. doing a fantasy film like this? Wouldn't it be fun with the digital CGI that we have today? I think it would be awesome, or something similar,
That would be a nice idea. We will inform that Rajmouli so we can plan Triple R. 2 or
Get
3.
on it. I mean, you've already made one with a fly. Let's get on it. Double-headed dragons. Let's go.
Yeah. Sure.
I would love to see something like this. I think it would be so fun, and I think it would be a great family entertainer to go back to some of these really great adventure themed kind of movies.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you, Harsha, for suggesting this film. I loved it.
Yeah, thank you so much. అండ్ 1994 టైంలో యాక్చువల్లీ ఇంత ఈ స్థాయిలో అసలు కంప్యూటర్ అంటేనే అప్పుడప్పుడే వెస్ట్రన్ కంట్రీస్ లో పరిచయం, కానీ ఇండియాకి ఇంకా అంత పరిచయం లేని రోజుల్లో ఇలాంటి ఒక మూవీని ఎలాంటి కంప్యూటర్ గ్రాఫిక్స్ యూస్ చేయకుండా కేవలం ఆర్ట్ వర్క్ తోనో సెట్ వర్క్ తోనో మెస్మరైజ్ చేస్తూ సంగీతం శ్రీనివాస గారి డైరెక్షన్ ప్రతిభ కావచ్చు, బాలకృష్ణ నటించిన తీరు కావచ్చు, రోజా, రంభ ఇలాంటి క్యారెక్టర్స్ తో వాళ్ళు పలికించిన హావభావాలు కావచ్చు, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఈ రోజుకి భైరవ ద్వీపం పేరు గుర్తు రాగానే మంచి ఫోక్ సినిమా, తెలుగు సినిమాల్లో వచ్చిన మంచి ఫోక్ సినిమాల్లో అది ఒకటి అంటూ దానికంటూ ఒక సపరేట్ హిస్టరీని క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంది. అవార్డులతో పాటు బాలకృష్ణ గారికి మంచి పేరును కూడా తీసుకొచ్చింది. ఇది ఈ వారం సినిమా రివ్యూ. మరో వారం మరో మంచి సినిమాతో మీ ముందుకు వస్తాం. అంటిల్ దెన్ బాయ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ మెల్నీ.
Yay.